Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another amazing episode of the You're Not Done Yet podcast, where your purpose is just moments away, and I am here to help you get there. Y'all, it is another week, which means we're back with another episode, and we're back with another amazing guest. Today, we will be speaking to Miss Nyeisha Pender. So, Miss Nyeisha, if you could introduce yourself, and we'll get started.
Hey. My name is Nyeisha Pender, but some of y'all may know me as Naya or Miss CEO, baby.
Yes. Period. So, one question that I love to ask all of my guests is, who are they? So, who is Nyeisha Pender?
Ooh, who is Nyeisha Pender? First and foremost, Nyeisha Pender is a child of God. Let's start there.
There we go. Yes.
Nyeisha Pender is a mom. She's an entrepreneur. She's a hard worker. She's a motivational speaker. She's just her.
Yes.
That's who she is. She's her.
Yeah.
She's nobody else. She's just her.
Yeah, authentically you. So let's dive into that. So we are friends with each other on Facebook.
Yes.
And we know each other for a while, and like I told you before we got on, it's like I have seen your growth.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen you reinvent yourself. I've seen you take a break to try to figure out what's best for you and your business. But I've also seen you take that leap of faith to be even more transparent now, more than ever. So what was the thing that made you say, okay, like I need to start telling my story. I need to start being open about what it is that I've gone through, as Nyeisha?
I think it was more so of seeing other people on social media like depressed and sad, and then I'm one of the people, I read comments. I'm gonna spend all day on them comments and just seeing people being like, well, what's going on, sis? Talk to me. And they're just like, I'm going through this, or we're fighting every day and I don't know how to leave. And I just remember that being me, but crying silently. Like I wasn't asking for help. I was just crying silently to myself and asking God, like, remove me from this situation. Give me the strength to just get up and leave. Like, I was ashamed to tell people what I was going through. So when I finally got that strength, it was like, I don't want other women to be ashamed. Like, I want you to be able to ask for that help and get that help. A lot of people, on social media, they're just like, oh, sis, it'll get better. Oh, sis, I'm here for you. But are they really?
Yeah.
Like, are they really going to walk you through getting out? So I wanted to be that voice.
No, totally agree, because it's needed. And like you said, scrolling through social media, on TikTok, you see these stories of women who are going through a lot. And like you said, all you see in the comments, well, sis, it'll get better. Why don't you just leave? Why don't you da-da-da-da? But my whole thing is, but don't you think if she wanted to leave and could leave that she would have? But don't you think that if she had a resource or someone that could give her the how-tos, how to get there, or give her the guidance to get there, that she would leave?
Exactly.
And it's not so more of you placing the blame on her. It's like, if she's crying out for help, how do we as a community, how do we help her? How do we make sure that she doesn't end up in a horrible place, or the kids don't end up in a horrible place? Because we just saying is, well, sis, you gonna get through it.
Yep, exactly.
It's more to it than that. And so I want you to talk more about Euphoric Beauty. Like, what is the message? What was the motivation behind it? Like, how did it even come about?
So, girl, you probably don't see me rebrand Euphoric Beauty 30,000 times.
But it's okay.
My gosh, I have rebranded until I finally got it. Listen.
Yeah, 100%.
So when I first started Euphoric Beauty, I just wanted to sell clothes. I wanted women to feel beautiful. I wanted to make women beautiful, because at one point in time, I struggled with low self-esteem. So when I finally got my self-esteem back, I'm like, baby, I'm bad. Like, you can't tell me nothing. So I wanted to help other women do that. I wanted them to put on my clothes and feel like, baby, I got the baddest outfit in here. I may not, in reality, but I feel like that. Like, I'm bad. So
Right.
that was the whole thing of my business, making, women beautiful. Then I actually met up with a lady named Katrina Nicole.
Okay.
If you're in
Okay.
Jacksonville, a lot of people know who Katrina Nicole is. I had
Yeah.
networked with her on Facebook, and then I went to an event she was at, and she actually put me like one-on-one with her, like, let's talk.
Right.
So Katrina asked me a question. She said, "What
Yeah.
is your why?" So I'm like,
Mm.
"What? Like, what do you
Mm-hmm.
mean?" She's like, "What is your
Yeah.
why?" Why what? Like, what do you
Yeah.
mean?
What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she was like, "Why are you doing this? What is your purpose?" She's like, "That's your homework for tonight." I'll never forget that. She was like, "That's your homework for tonight." I spent hours, hours and hours, like, my why? Like, what is this lady talking about? Like, I cannot come up
Yeah.
with it. And out of nowhere, it was like, "Your story, Naya." So I'm like, okay, this got to be God talking to me. God, what
Yeah.
story are you talking about?
Yeah.
He was like, "What you went through." Boom. That's how I got my why. I'm like, I went through domestic violence, and going through that, I just got the strength to build a business to make other women beautiful. And that was my
Yeah.
why. So I brought it forth to her. I'm like, my why is, you know, to make other women realize, like, you're worth more. Like, you don't have to stay with that man that puts his hands on you, because there is someone that is going to make you feel beautiful. So she was like, "You
Yeah.
need to put your story at the front of your business." So I'm like, "But
Yeah.
that's not what I want to do. That's not what I want to do.
Right.
I want to sell clothes." She was like,
Yeah.
"Naya, put your story forth." So I'm like, "Okay, you're the coach. I'ma listen."
Right.
So I
Right.
wrote I wrote a form with my why on it, and I put it out there. And women started coming left and right and wanting to know more about my story. They wanted to know why Euphoric Beauty is the way it is. So I
Yeah.
was like, wow, I'm selling clothes and can barely get a sale, but I put my story out there, and women are coming from left and right. Like,
Mm-hmm.
and that made me realize what my purpose was. My purpose wasn't to have a clothing store. Yeah, I can sell the clothes too, but my purpose is to help other women.
Yes, I love that. But you see how being obedient to your testimony, being obedient to your calling, open a whole new door for you. Avery. Uh-oh, it broke up. Uh-oh.
It's
Give
like
us
going
one
in and
second,
out.
guys. Uh-oh. Hold on. Okay. You may have to re-say what you said again because it broke out.
Which part?
You hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
When you were explaining after, okay, you hear me now? When you were just saying that, women were coming from left and right, it kind of just broke out after that.
Yeah, women were just coming from left to right, and I'm like, I want to sell clothes, but I realized my purpose
Uh-oh, hold on. No,
was
not
to
yet.
help women who are going through. Uh oh.
Hold on. It's trying to come back. Hold on. Okay, try it again.
Okay, we're good. You can hear me?
Oh, so an internet issue. Oops, you're listening to an internet issue. Oh no. What happened? Okay.
I can hear you now.
You hear
Yes.
me? Okay. I'm sorry. I'm like, was that me? Oh, it's okay. It'll add it. We'll add everything
Okay.
together. Um, but we were just talking about when you said that once you put your story out
Mhm.
there, women were coming from
Yeah.
everywhere. Yeah, and so I was just saying that, but you see how being obedient to your story and to your testimony is what opened a whole new door that you weren't even thinking of.
Exactly.
You weren't
That
even
was
thinking of. But I feel like, but that's just how funny purpose is, though. I feel like we're gonna say, okay, God, I want to pursue my purpose. Like, for example, like you said, I got this clothing boutique. I want to sell
yeah.
clothes. I don't want to do nothing else but that. But you had to get that nudge from somebody that God sent to you to say, no, honey, you need to start putting your story out there. You need to start being like, no, well, this is Nyeisha. This is what I've been through. And this is what it is. But I just want to ask you about how great has it been helping other women come out of
Whew.
their situations, give them motivation to, you know, like how has that been? I can
Listen,
only imagine.
that has been a journey. Now, mind you, when I first put my story out there, I was still struggling myself. I was like, I'm not
Yeah.
ready for this. I am not ready to help other women.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
as you know, I just did a whole revamp on the website where now women can submit a form to me. Well,
Right.
I'm going to share one submission because she's okay with it. So,
Okay.
she was going through things with her child's father, and she wanted to create a bond with the new mom. Okay. That's something I can
Hmm.
relate to because my child does have a stepmom, and me and her are like, we're like two peas in a pod. I love her stepmommy.
Yeah.
And she was just like,
Yeah.
how do I do it? How do I, go about it? I was like, you two sit down and talk. I said, you don't have to go through him. You can reach out to her, say, hey, let's sit down and talk. You're, the baby's new stepmommy. I want to talk, get to know you. Well, let's just say right now, today, they are very cool. They are very cool.
Awesome.
She wrote me the other morning. She was like, thank you so much. Me and her went out to dinner and we are so cool. We finally exchanged numbers and we're working on a schedule of like when they get the baby and then I have the baby. I'm like, that is amazing. So it's going good.
Awesome.
I'm helping women. I get submissions every day. Most of my submissions do come from TikTok because I promote a lot on
Okay.
TikTok. But it's just
Okay.
amazing waking up and I have submission forms, or I'm doing something in the middle of the day and I get a notification that I have a submission form because I'm like, the fact that these people don't know me, but they are becoming
Mm-hmm.
comfortable enough to confide in me
Right.
and trust me to
And
help
trust
them.
you.
It's just
Yes.
enough. And I thank
Yes.
God every day because I'm like, God, if you brought me that very first one, they gonna keep coming back to back.
Oh yeah, 100%, 100%. And I would say, but I feel like that comes with anything that God
Mm-hmm.
gives you, and it's like we always feel like it's supposed to like take off, like spread like a
Yeah,
wildfire. It's like, oh my God, well, Lord, I'm sharing. Like, nobody coming to me.
exactly.
Why ain't nobody asking me for help or for advice? But the biggest thing that I always say is that even if I just touch one person,
Yes,
right? Even if I'm just able to be a blessing to one person, I am totally, I'm totally
exactly.
fine. Because I feel like you don't want to rush your greatness, right? You don't want to rush to be in rooms that at this point in your career you may not be ready to be
Yeah,
in yet, you
exactly.
know? You may not be ready to push forth into what he's called you to do because he's still molding you. And then like you said you did this while you were
Yes.
struggling, right? Struggling with, but it just goes to show that you have to do things afraid.
Mm-hmm.
You have to do things when they're not perfect, when you don't have all the
Exactly.
answers, but you know that if someone submitted a form, okay, well, I'm gonna do the best of
Yeah,
my
like
ability
I gotta
to.
get myself together. And that also with like when I first put it out there and I wasn't ready, I actually have a therapist and she would just talk to me and talk to me, and me going to my therapist helps me even more to help other women because it's like
Yeah.
she's telling me how to deal with triggers and telling me how to deal with depression, and it's helping because I deal with it much better to the point where I can help other women deal with it much better. I don't have
Yeah.
to tell them the basic,
Yeah.
you got this, sis, it'll get better. I can tell them, well, let's
No,
start with this exercise. If exercise one doesn't work, let's move on to exercise two.
try another.
So
Right. Right.
it's been a process. Still learning, still growing, but I'm much better than what I was a year ago with my business. And though I'm
Yeah.
coming up on, year 3, I just know year 3 is my year. Like, for some reason, like, I've never felt so confident in a year. And I just feel like 2023, I'm going to be speaking in rooms to help women.
Yes.
I'm going to
Yes.
be booked and busy to speak in rooms.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
I don't ever want this business to become, how do I say this without sounding so harsh? Like, I don't ever want this business to become a money business. I want the money side to be the boutique side. But when it comes to help women, I want to do that for free. I don't want
Yeah,
to
because it's something
charge.
that you enjoy.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the thing is too, and it goes to always show, like, your purpose will make room for you, or your gifts will make room for you. And it's like sometimes we think, oh my God, is money attached to it?
Yeah, no.
No, it's more of you being in places, like you said, that you being booked and busy, you being in rooms that you once thought you were never going to be in, but you're there. Now, if something monetary is attached to that, cool, but I'm not doing it to say I'm doing this to get a check. I'm doing this to say that I did it because it's something that I love. This is something that it's near and dear to me. So no, I would always say, like, you follow your purpose and you follow your passion, and whatever's supposed to come with that will come with that. And like I said, if it is monetary, cool, but thank you. But I'm doing this because it's something that
exactly.
something that I love. So a question I always love to ask my guests as well: do you feel like you are pursuing your purpose? If so, how? And if not, why?
Yes, I do feel like I am finally, big capital letters on finally, pursuing.
Yeah.
And I say that because God let me go through what I needed to go through. He knew this world needed somebody that was going to speak up and speak out. A lot of people,
Yes.
they're either afraid or they just simply don't want to speak up and speak out. And he knew the world needed somebody, and he chose me to be that somebody. Now, did I ever imagine being that somebody? No, I did not. I did not. But when I talked to God and I just broke down in that shower and was just crying like, God, what is it? And he revealed it. It's like, I need to follow what God wants me to do. Like, he wants me to be that voice. Let me be that voice. And I'm going to speak on it all the time.
Yes. And I think it goes somewhere too. I've always said, and I think I made a video about it too. It's like we are always trying to be where we want to be, but not where God wants us to be. We're always trying to do the things that we feel like we should be doing because everybody else is doing them, but that's not what God called you to do. God didn't call you.
No,
I'm so sorry. Excuse me. God didn't call you to be on every scene. He didn't call you to be everywhere because you're not meant to be everywhere. You're meant to be in a particular place at a particular time for a particular reason. And I feel like the more that we become accustomed to that, the more that I'm pretty sure we'll see a lot of things die down. A lot of things won't be get rich quick schemes, or a lot of things won't, because, such and such is doing it, so that means that I have to do it. No, not at all. And so as we get ready to wrap up, I will ask you, if you could leave our listeners and our viewers with anything, what would you leave them with?
If I could leave everyone who's listening to this podcast right now, if I could leave you with something, it's to never be afraid. Don't ever be afraid, no matter what it is, whether it's stepping out on, faith, whether it's making that move, whether it's applying for that job, whether it's, you've been eyeing that girl or that boy for a while you want to talk to. Don't be afraid. Be yourself and just do it. Don't be afraid. Because if you're afraid, you're not going to get nowhere.
No, it's never going to be the right time. It's never going to be the right place. It's never going to be right. But as long as you're willing to show God that you're willing to put in the effort to go the distance, or
He gonna lead you the whole way.
Everything else is willing to follow. And I think we're so confused or so worried about the how. Well, how I'm gonna do this? How I'm gonna do that? It's not in us to worry about the how. It's in us to just get to where he told us to go. Everything else will work itself out. So I feel like that's one thing, like when it comes to your purpose, that you have to always remember. The how will always work itself out,
Exactly.
regardless of what it looks like. The how will always work itself out.
Most definitely.
So Nyeisha, if people want to follow you, get in touch with you, maybe submit a form on your website, where can the people go to get in contact with you?
Okay, so I'm going to try to explain this the best way I can so you guys don't get confused. Sure. So if you want to submit a form, you can submit whatever it is. It's domestic violence, mental health, self-love, self-care, anything, or if you just need to build a sisterhood, you can go to my website. It's shopeuphoric.com. Euphoric is EUPHORIC.com. So that's shopeuphoric.com. When you go to the page, you're going to click the tab that says Girl Talk. And on that page, you'll be able to submit your form. You don't have to leave your name. You can leave it anonymously, but make sure you leave an email so I can be able to contact you back. Social media, I am http://msceo or Shop Euphoric Boutique.
Okay, awesome. Well, Nyeisha, thank you so much again for just giving me some of your time to tell your story and to give people a sense of purpose and something that everyone and every woman or every man may go through in a relationship. And thank you for being so transparent and honest about what you've been through and how your purpose is helping. Yes, how your purpose is helping other women or other men, if you have helped some of them as well, to get up and don't be afraid.
I haven't helped men yet, but we're working on the men.
I was saying we working on something. They coming. Okay, that's what I said.
Yeah, they need to come on. Don't be scared. I can help the boys too.
Coming. That's what I'm saying. They are coming. But as I always say, guys, this has been an amazing episode of the You're Not Done Yet podcast. So your purpose is just moments away, and I'm here to help you get there. Make sure you guys are following us on Instagram at You're Not Done Yet Pod, and me, your host, at It's Andrea B. And we will see you guys again next week. Alrighty.
Bye.
Bye. It's not letting me stop. Hold on. Okay, there we go.